everyone, hope everybody's well. Okay, it is less than a week until I have corrective surgery on my tummy. And the reason I'm calling it corrective surgery is because that's what it is. 8.5 stone lost, 2 caesarean sections has left me with an overhang. And some loose skin on my upper abdomen, which wrinkles up when I pull in my abs and doesn't look very pretty. But also, more than that, when I jump up and down doing star jumps or box jumps, my skin jumps up and down with me. And when I do a push-up, my skin hangs down, which is embarrassing really. And after all this hard work and the abs that I've got sitting underneath, which are so strong, I think about how much weight I can lift through squats and deadlifts because my abs are so strong. And yet I'm never going to see them because of the skin. And I can see my obliques, but I'll never see my abs. And no matter what I do exercise-wise, it's never going to go away. It's the product of years of yo-yo dieting, but also the product of caesarean sections. And now that the rest of my body is so toned and lean and gorgeous, I want my tummy to match. And therefore I've made this decision to go and have this surgery, which is by no means easy. It's a 5-hour operation, and during that 5 hours, I don't know whether you can see this, let me just tilt the phone slightly. They're going to cut where my belly button is down to my hips, and then they'll cut in my groin up to my hips, and they'll remove that bit of skin, lot of skin, and then the skin, my belly button will still be there, but the skin that's up here, they will pull down and sew with the bottom half of my groin and my upper thighs, and they'll create me a new belly button for a new hole, if you like, for my belly button to poke through. But what they'll also have to do is, because I've had 2 big babies, both 10 pounds each, and beautiful they are, but because they were so big, the muscles are separated down the middle by just a small margin, so they'll need to sew together the muscles. So they lift up this bit, they sew the muscle together with a nylon stitch so that it's a permanent stitch, and then as they lay the skin back down, at points of the skin, they'll actually sew the skin to my abs all the way down. And the reason they do that is an American method that I researched in advance, did loads of research, and it's called a quilting method. And the reason why I asked for that and found a surgeon that does that in the UK, Mr. Ahmed from Cambridge, is because that keeps the scar very low-sighted and means that during the healing process it doesn't start rising up. I see a lot of pictures on Instagram and on websites where the scar's pretty high above the underwear line, and I really don't want that. So the quilting method avoids that. It also avoids excess swelling and seromas from building up, because there isn't a gap between the skin that's been laid down and your abs, because it's been sewn all the way down like a quilt. I'm also going to go for a drain-free tummy tuck, because there's less risk of infection, and because it's not as horrible afterwards. You're not hanging with drains coming out of you for a few days. And having had my gallbladder removed several years ago and feeling the drain coming out of me a few days after the operation, which was the most horrendous feeling. Oh, it made me feel sick. Even now it makes me feel sick. I definitely didn't want drains. So I found a surgeon that does drain-free quilted tummy tucks with a lazy W scar. And again, the reason I want a lazy W scar is because if you have a normal sort of almost like a half moon scar, they can come quite high up, whereas the lazy W sits very low down in the groin. So Mr. Ahmed, amazing Mr. Ahmed, I'll tell you more about him tomorrow, will do me quilting, no drains, lazy W scar, corrective surgery, remove all of that horrible loose skin, remove the overhang, and I'm going to have a flat tummy for the first time in my entire life. Even as a kid, I can't remember having a flat tummy. So it's going to be absolutely liberating, but I envisage that the mental journey is going to be tough. So over the next few days, I'm going to show you what the consultation was like, talk to you about how I'm preparing for it and what my expectations are, and then next week I'll be talking to you about what it's actually like and the recovery process. So that's the next series in a big girl's journey to lean, and I look forward to sharing it with you. And on that note, I'll go and I'll speak to you tomorrow.